That right there is the face of rage. That's right, we're here with game 2 between Berserk and Skarbrand. This time Berserk has taken Norsca in this Faction Master Tournament. As a reminder, once a player uses a faction, they cannot use them again throughout the course of the tournament, and he's taken Norsca versus Chaos Dwarfs. Ice versus Fire, with the Chaos factions duking it out, and the forbidden double Norscan giant. Super unusual pick, just in general, to see giants, in particular for Norsca, who has access to, like, mammoths and a lot of other great monsters. I mean, the giant's not bad. I think it has sort of a reputation of being bad, but 700 weapon strength and a massive 12,000 HP for the price that you get is actually pretty good. I mean, obviously has some pretty obvious downsides: low armor, low speed, low melee defense, but here, we're going to see how two of them do, led by Wulfric the Wanderer here. Front line of Marauders with some great weapons mixed in. Marauder great weapons, low tier, but nice armor piercing, some Skin Wolves as well. We've got a Famir Balefiend, and it looks like Jatan the Black leading the way for the Chaos Dwarfs. A couple of Ice Wolves out in the flanks as well. The rest of the... Did I say Ice Dwarfs? Meant Chaos Dwarfs. Although Ice Dwarfs would be pretty cool. Crack-a-drac, go burr. Anyway, Hobgoblin Sneaky Gits here as a front line. We've got Blunderbusses to back them up, a couple of Fireglaves as well, and a Demon Smith of Death for some Spirit Leeching, no doubt. Will be very effective against Wulfric on a horse, given his relatively low HP. But yeah, let's actually check the spell loadout here of the Demon Smith Sorcerer. Yeah, Purple Sun, excellent, and Spirit Leech. Absolutely loving the spell combination from Skarbrand here. And right now, Norsca trying to get a nice big surround, patiently getting units into position here to envelop. The Norscan Ice Wolves going to take a volley from the Sneaky Gits there, eat some throwing axes. Nice Lure of Boats cast, hits good contact on a Chaos Dwarf Blunderbuss. Although it would have been nice to hit multiple units on that. It's not the worst. This Purple Sun, though, hits very little. And is mostly just going to kill some trees or something. Who knows? Durthu somewhere is yelling into the forest, but not here. And we see now the Marauder Horseman as well. Again, over on the far side, trying to get in position. There's a Spirit Leech on Wulfric. That's going to be very good and efficient use of magic in the long run. Skarbrand wants to have a chance at victory here, but Spirit Leeching the Norscan Giants will not be a good idea because they have so much HP and they cost relatively little in terms of big beatstick monsters. It's like, you know, dumping water into the ocean to try and reduce the salt in the ocean, right? It's not going to do anything. It's, yeah, very ineffective, but let's see here. We'll fast forward maybe a little bit through this positioning as these players both continue to try and get in the right position. The skirmish game is going to go, I would think, in favor of the Chaos Dwarfs. They actually technically have all ranged units here. The Sneaky Gits with a couple of precursor dagger volleys. But the rest... yeah, it is Conquest, so Chaos Dwarfs took this objective. They are taking up some points, although didn't take it initially. But yeah, we're going to see some magics begin to be unleashed here. Got a nice bit of shades hitting those Chaos Dwarf Blunderbusses, both disrupting and dealing damage, while in the front line, Sneaky Gits get charged down by Marauders. Ooh, nice net on this Norscan Giant here from Jatan. And the Blunderbusses and Fireglaves are going to open up. Let some Marauders move in to interrupt at least the Fireglaves from shooting. Yeah, the net relatively shortly going to drop. Blunderbusses have a pretty long reload time, but still a massive amount of HP damage and some overshooting into the Marauder Horsemen as well that were behind him. It took some brutal losses. So pretty good value so far. Sneaky Gits definitely getting crumbled to the front line. And the Giant immediately is just going to set his sights on these Fireglaves. Their tiny little anti-large bonus isn't going to do a lot against him. Ooh, I like the lance animation there for the Marauder Horsemen. That's pretty cool. Using their spears as lances. Not actually doing all that much on the charge, but it looks very cool at least. Jatan does land on the ground here, gets cornered by Wulfric. Hunter of Champions active. Both Wulfric and the Famir move in. That's going to be some nice overlapping debuffs from the Armor Sundering and the Hunter of Champions, minus 60 armor in total, which is all Jatan has on the Lamasu mount, which is going to negate magic damage and, you know, provide some other benefits. But let's see. Another Pit of Shades dropping off there, and Spirit Leech kind of turns things around on Wulfric as he's trying to run away, or at least get in supporting range of this giant, perhaps. Yeah, Berserk does a great job getting Wulfric back relatively near the giant, basically daring Jatan to land here and get pounded by that massive weapon strength. But, yeah, he is so far not actually landing on him. Skarbrand, sensing the gambit, decides to pull away, maybe try and drop a charge on something he can quickly tear route here. Meanwhile, over on the far side, haven't really been paying attention, but the Sneaky Git's actually trading really well into Marauders. Fireglaves managed to hold off the advances of the Horsemen and the Ice Wolves, so it's kind of a second line. Well, maybe some of these Marauder Great Weapons might actually win. A little bit of a trade there, I suppose. Let's get in close on some cinematics, though. It's been mostly high level so far. Sneaky Git's fighting against the Marauders here. We see Jatan get on the ground. Wulfric going after the Demon Smith Sorcerer, maybe a little bit here, but he's so low on HP, he honestly probably should just go hide in the woods or get Spirit Leeched for his last breath. Near fighting Jatan. Actually not doing terrible right now. But another lore of boats before Wulfric's gone. Might as well use it on those Fireglaves. Pretty good value there. And Wulfric's leadership surprisingly not dropping yet, but he is not doing great in terms of HP. A lot of Chaos Dwarf units starting to rally at this point. Fireglaves managed to kind of hold off the assault for now, but Marauders kind of ended up winning on that engagement. Yeah, it looks like the Horsemen were able to come in, do some leadership damage, and Marauders just generally, I think, having better leadership than the Sneaky Gits, end up winning out on a pretty close fight. But the Marauder Great Weapons in particular are a really good trade against the Chaos Dwarf ranged units. They just cut through that armor like butter. And yeah, they have the stats to be able to compete, and they, more importantly, cost low enough that it's incredibly cost effective. With some nice speed to be able to pursue. I mean, the leadership's not great. Kind of got beat up a little bit here, but just nice to have that little bit of extra armor piercing in a situation like this. But things are not looking great for Norsca right now in terms of the balance of power. Wulfric being gone is, well, not quite fully gone yet, but yeah, the Demon Smith Sorcerer, if he has a little bit of magic, one more Spirit Leech should get rid of Wulfric, but for the time being, he's at least hanging around. Not only just hanging around, he's actually chasing these blunderbusses, which is quite good. Not letting them come back is going to be pretty important here. Fireglaves get broken up, and we've got the one giant still with about half HP. The other giant just got turned into a sponge. All those bullet holes, but nonetheless, that's why you bring two. Even against a very potent range faction like the Chaos Dwarfs, you know, double giant is quite an investment, but even if just one of them lands and gets good engagements, can be enough perhaps. This one is going to eat some more blunderbuss fire directly to the face. Charging straight through. We're going to get a Melkoth Mystifying Miasma, so they can't pull away. Even if they try, they're actually not going to... Oh, at the net at the last second. Oh man, how about that view for these Chaos Dwarf blunderbusses? But, I mean, the Melkoth's also dealing some damage. Marauders have speed to follow up as Jatan charges in to blast the Famir Balefiend. Not actually doing too much damage to him, but yeah, the Lamasu mount in terms of damage output is pretty poor. Has some nice kind of utility and stuff, but definitely not going to be as potent as the Taurus. Either Taurus. But we get a duel between the casters here. Momentary duel, at least, until the giant comes in and right before the swing lands. Yeah, I mean, Chaos Dwarf's going to throw in the towel there. I guess just didn't think he could finish off the giant. But Berserk manages to take the win. That Famir Balefiend, man, Shadow's probably slept on a little bit right now because Beast is so popular for a lot of factions. I mean, you still probably see quite a bit of Pit of Shades and Domination. It's a really good spell, generally in Domination, to be able to seize objectives, but yeah, less common in land battles, I would say, generally. But this Famir Balefiend definitely put out some serious damage. 14,000 total damage dealt, 2,400 gold value on that damage. Pretty good stuff overall. I like some of the Marauders getting good value as well, kind of chasing into the backline, getting into those ranged units. Yeah, and then the Ice Wolves as well get some pretty good kills. The Giants ultimately don't end up actually paying for themselves. They're doing all that much at all, but nice to see them. They end up drawing a lot of fire, which would have otherwise gone into other units. And then, yeah, just kind of the lower tier units for Norsca really performing very well with that magic support. From Scarbrand's side, yeah, I kind of get throwing in the towel there. Jatan's going to have a hard time. It's possible there was maybe a little bit of desyncing as well. I think I'm technically on the old patch, which I will promptly update after this. But anyway, yeah, overall, very fun stuff. Some of the blunderbusses get some great value on those nets, blasting giants in the face. But it's pretty close at the end of the day. But ultimately, yeah, I mean, Famir Balefine is just absolutely MVP in my book. So there you go. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you like this sort of content, be sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification. Every time I upload a new video, you'll be notified. Thanks again. We'll see you next time.